Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my channel. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss how to write a hypothesis. So, firstly, we will discuss what is hypothesis, developing a hypothesis, and in the last, we will discuss some hypothesis examples. So, let's move towards today's lecture. Discuss what is hypothesis. A hypothesis states your prediction about what your research will find. It is a tentative answer to your research question that has not yet been tested. For some research projects, you might have to write several hypotheses that address different aspects of your research question. A hypothesis is not just a guess, it should be based on existing theories and knowledge. It also has to be testable, which means you can support or refuse it through scientific research methods such as experiments, observations, and statistical analysis of data. Now, the variables in research. Hypotheses propose a relationship between two or more variables. Basically, we develop a hypothesis to check what is the relationship between two or more variables. An independent variable is something the researcher changes or controls, and a dependent variable is something the researcher observes and measures. For example, daily apple consumption leads to fewer doctor's visits. In this example, the independent variable is apple consumption, the assumed cause. The dependent variable is the frequency of doctor's visit, the assumed effect. Let's start developing a hypothesis. The first point is to ask a question. Writing a hypothesis begins with a research question that you want to answer. The question should be focused, specific, and researchable within the constraints of your project. For example, do students who attend more lectures get better exam results? Second point is do some preliminary research. Your initial answer to the question should be based on what is already known about the topic. Look for theories and previous studies to help you form educated assumptions about what your research will find. At this stage, you might construct a conceptual framework to identify which variables you will study and what you think the relationships are between them. Third point is to formulate your hypothesis. Now you should have some idea of what you expect to find. Write your initial answer to the question in a clear, concise sentence. For example, attending more lectures leads to better exam results. The question was, do students who attend more lectures get better exam results? I have formulated hypothesis in this way. Attending more lectures leads to better exam results. Fourth point is to refine your hypothesis. You need to make sure your hypothesis is specific and testable. There are various ways of phrasing a hypothesis, but all the terms you use should have clear definitions, and the hypothesis should contain the relevant variables, the specific group being studied, and the predicted outcome of the experiment or analysis. Fifthly, you have to phrase your hypothesis in three ways. Firstly, to identify the variables, you can write a simple prediction in if to then form. The first part of the sentence states the independent variable and the second part states the dependent variable. For example, if first year students start attending more lectures, then their exam scores will improve. Second way, in academic research, hypotheses are more commonly phrased in terms of correlations or effects, where you directly state the predicted relationship between variables. For example, the number of lectures attended by first year students have a positive effect on their exam scores. So you have to state here whether the relationship is positive, negative, or no relationship. Thirdly, if you are comparing two groups, the hypothesis can state what difference you expect to find between them. For example, first year students who attended more lectures will have better exam scores than those who attended few lectures. Now here the difference is indicated that the first year students who attended more lectures will have better exam scores, and the students who have attended less lectures than first year students they will have low exam score. Sixth point is to write a null hypothesis. If your research involves statistical hypothesis testing, you will also have to write a null hypothesis. The null hypothesis is a default position that there is no association, no relationship between the variables. The null hypothesis is written as H0, while the alternative hypothesis is written as H1 or HA. Here is the example. H0, the number of lectures attended by first year students has no effect on their final exam scores. The alternative hypothesis is the number of lectures attended by first year students has a positive effect on their final exam scores. These are the ways to which you can develop a hypothesis in a very easy way. Hope you understand it well. If you like the video, give a thumbs up, subscribe my channel, also press the bell button so that you can get the notification of coming video. Thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.